So I'll start with today's inspirational quote. I just did it myself because I think we didn't have anyone beyond December. So I wanted to pay homage to Jane Goodall, who just passed away in the fall. And if you haven't seen the documentary about her on Netflix, it's worth viewing. At the end of it, the person who was interviewing her, I don't know who that was, but he left the stage and it was just her. And she turned and talked to the audience. It was really cool. So here's two quotes from Jane Goodall. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. And the second one, it's actually the first one with an added sentence. So here's the second sentence. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. And now I have a little sign up for inspirational quotes for following months, so I'll pass that around.
I think I'm supposed to for March, I think.
Oh, you've already signed up? So did we already do it? And I
think we did.
Okay.
I'd have to go find the document though.
If you wouldn't mind signing up again, so put Ginger at March.
Okay. Anybody else remember what month they grabbed? I don't either.
Feel free to take whatever's there.
Hey, Janie just did it for me, and I didn't stop her.
So this was your month.
Were
I
you
had
prepared? I'm sorry, Rory.
That's okay. I had one on the ready. I had a quote from Rachel Carson out of The Sense of Wonder, but it's a little paragraphy, so I found another one that really hit me.
So could you do that in February?
I can.
Reluctantly.
Suspense for a month.
All
Yes.
done.
Thank you.
I got Rory for February, Ginger for March. If we don't know, I guess I can volunteer for April.
Thank you.
I can hit somewhere in the minutes somewhere, but I
If we find it, I'll be happy to unvolunteer for April.
don't. Same here.
So you're still the timekeeper?
Yes, I will, be annoying if people take too long on a topic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, you don't do the roll call anymore. So Jim, you do.
Lori's here.
Anyone wants to say here?
Okay. Lori,
Yes, I'm here.
Kendra,
Here.
Betty,
Here.
Jeannie,
Here.
Laura,
Here.
Teresa,
Excuse.
Not here.
Margaret, Corey,
Partially here.
Jim, I'm here. Emily
I'm here.
and David.
I'm here as well.
All right.
And Yvonne.
Yvonne.
I'm here.
All right. Thank you all.
Okay, so I move to before we approve the minutes, I actually do have one question. On page 2, under staff liaison, David Shear, symposium for circular STL. I couldn't remember what that is.
Circular STL is a organization that promotes the circular economy, which is sort of like what we used to call, reduce, renew, recycle. It's a new kind of terminology for it, but it's a really good organization. There had to be 100 people at the symposium and exchanged a lot of great ideas. It was great.
Okay, so we should look that up and.
Yeah, I'll make a note of it. They emailed me a presentation. Took them a couple weeks to get it out, but I will forward that to you all.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments about minutes from our November meeting?
One, Janie. This is Rory. So I know from the feedback from last meeting that we've asked for the notes to be more high level. They were getting a little detailed. So, under number 6, the tree steward nominations, we have Carrie and Joe. Do we want to name them by name in the minutes? Are these public documents? And have we gone to them and let them know that they are our nominees? And if we did, we should spell Carrie's name correctly.
Oh, Joe's last
And
name
Joe's.
too.
I do not believe they've been informed. I've not informed them.
So if you want to vote to strike it from the.
Yeah, that'd be the best, probably.
Until
I
it's
guess
official.
take their names out.
What's this now?
So Gary Coyne and Joe O'Keefe names are mentioned in the minutes when we have not formally contacted them and nominated them. So we were discussing striking them from the minutes until that's done.
Okay.
So just taking their names out. Thank you, Rory.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I haven't thought.
Okay, other than that, move to approve the minutes. In 1 second. You. So we do not have any visitors tonight. And we're gonna jump right into our new business. Which is the end of the year report in the budget. Shall I start, David? or-
Well, I guess I can. So you guys have been, I don't know how many of you were on the commission last year, but this is something that gets done annually. And the first item is the end of year report, which is just like it sounds. It's, you go through, I sent you all the forms. Only one of you technically needs to fill it out, Jeannie, but I sent the document to you in case you wanted to make some notes, what have you. And this is your opportunity to kind of walk through and make sure that Jeannie has everything filled in accurately. It's not due until the 3rd week in February, so if you want to get it put together today and then at your next meeting, you could vote on it in case you remember something. Oh yeah, we did this or that. So with that, I guess Jeannie can take the conversation.
Okay, so did everyone print this, or I'll just hold it up? After Rory's name, I'd like to add vice chair. And then I'd like to add Yvonne as technical advisor. And any news on our 9th commissioner, David?
No, just seasonality. Things have slowed down, so I'll let you know when I hear more.
I
Should
did
we-
just hear from someone who's interested, so I'm putting him in touch with Katie and the application. So hopefully we'll have an applicant in the next couple weeks, maybe sooner.
Thank you, Emily.
Generally speaking, those kinds of things slow down. Basically, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, people have more important things to do.
Yeah. It's been since July.
But it is a good reminder to talk about the boards and commissions. We do have other openings too. I know we still are working on the stormwater one as well. So I know we have one applicant here in the room with us. But if you know of others, please share this. We really want to get people who have technical expertise on that to help us. That's a big issue for the city. But yes, I think we should have at least an applicant or two for this commission soon.
Thank you, Emily.
This is Rory. Do they need to be residents of Webster Groves?
No, they
It
do.
says they have to live in Webster or have a business.
No, that's not entirely accurate. It's
Well, which commission are you asking about, Rory?
Stormwater.
stormwater. They need to have technical expertise. Ideally, they're a resident. And if, as long as we get a good selection of people with technical expertise, we could take some lay people that are local as well. As it stands, we've gotten 7 applications so far for 7 positions. One of the applicants, though, doesn't live in Webster Groves, and I don't want to say they're not qualified, but they're sort of on the margin. So we could certainly use some more applicants.
Okay. Thank you. So number 1 says mission, purpose, or duties. And then it says, please list the ordinance reviewed. And I didn't know, does that refer to the responsible lighting ordinance?
No, that's when I sent you
that other paper.
Yeah, the Green Space Advisory Commission, Article 16. That's the purpose of the commission. Yeah, I was talking right here.
This is an official purpose.
Yes, this is as it's stated in the Code of Ordinances.
Yeah, this is what we're basically.
So should we attach that?
I just refer to it.
Yeah, you could, I would just make reference
Yes,
to
sure.
section 4.986
Yeah.
through
That's
whatever the
Yeah.
article 16.
Then number 2 says accomplishments. I've kind of kept a running tab. And then today I, updated it. So I broke it down by month, what we did each month. So I'll send this around, or I could just email it to everyone. And you can look at it. So it could have more detail than we need, but we do have a list of the things we've done.
Jeannie, why don't you email it directly to me and then I'll distribute it to everybody, so that there's not a conversation going on by email.
So she should send you a draft of it or send it, we got that.
Yeah.
You sent that. Yeah, I would maybe
Then you want to put together, rough draft.
a rough draft.
Well,
You-
and I suspect it's way too detailed, but sure you'll let me know.
So David, you do these documents, is this yours to the city council?
Yeah, we can pass it around if that's okay.
That's way,
Is that okay?
You could write on it.
Okay.
Anything you write on it, I'll update it before I send it to David tomorrow.
So a question was asked, who reviews this annual report, and it is the city council.
City council.
This is a report to them to see, for you, it's an opportunity for you to brag on yourself and say, this is what we accomplished right here.
Okay, and then our ongoing long-term projects, I thought I would refer to our roster, not roster, our roadmap. So we have, and David just sent this out as I kind of put new headings in it. So subcommittees for existing programs, subcommittees for new programs. So I thought I would just put that list. I would take our names out, but just list the subcommittees under ongoing long-term projects. So I will pass this around. We did pass it around. Oh, and on the backside, I've added this tracking updates. Just because I don't necessarily remember things, but I can, when I see it written, remember. So I'll pass this around and look at it, and then if you wanna change anything, if you wanna say, I'm on 3 subcommittees, that's a little too much, you can write on this and it will come back to me. Okay.
And as I said, we'll try to get a final draft in next month's packet for you all to vote upon.
So our main things are continuing our 3 initiatives, No Mow April, Leave the Leaves in Green Earth City. Green Earth City's coming back this year. And then 4th, to continue the jointly organized EcoEd with the Sustainability Commission. And the other thing is tending to infrastructure, such as what Corin and Teresa and I did for Leave the Leaves. I said, hello, April. We updated the website. I think it was Leave the Leaves.
I think you're right.
And so those are the 3 things I have, but I will put on our various subcommittees on that. Then on page 2, we'll have all our members and liaisons. And our work plan is pretty much detailed on the roadmap. What the subcommittees, we added, last time we met in November, we added 2 new subcommittees. One to come up with a welcome letter, an orientation letter for new commissioners. Because in addition to the one we're waiting for. There is, as I mentioned before, I don't wanna harp on it, but there's a strong likelihood that Jim will be chosen to be on the Stormwater
I
Commission.
don't know that, but,
So then we'll be looking for another commissioner. So the new subcommittees we got at our last meeting were the welcoming and the, coming up with, I forget what I called it. Ginger, could you look at the new subcommittees? Or who, Debbie has that.
Oh, yes.
The new one about, elevator talks for the mayor. About our various, it should be under new. On the front.
Oh,
Anyway,
the short-term marketing?
Yes.
That's the elevator? Okay.
there you have it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So I will outline, on the work plan or what the subcommittees are doing. And then I will turn it back to David for the budget.
Sure.
Is that good, David?
Of course, of course. So your budget request, so I looked at your last year's budget and Jeannie kind of filled me in. That was her first year doing the budget along with you.
It was my first month
This
this
is your
year.
first month. You were budgeted last year for $4,950, of which you expended about $93 and change.
Okay.
But I think more has been spent, even Arbor Day would have been more than that with the
That's
plaques.
the only thing that's been gone through the system at this point.
Still did the signage, right? Like we paid for the sign.
Well, my understanding is, so that number.
I think it went to it was
So
budgeted elsewhere.
So as I was gonna say, this number was actually your previous year's budget when you purchased all those signs and whatnot. And because people were new to the process, they just took last year's budget and said, oh, we'll just do last year's over again. If you've ever done a budget, that's the way a lot of folks do it. Yeah. Apparently many of these projects were already accomplished the prior year, so that's why the funds went unspent. I think you've kind of reached the point with the signs that people aren't asking for them anymore, so we haven't been printing anymore. Because we do it on demand basis. So really, as far as I can tell from the finance department, you really didn't spend much last year. That being said, you might want to right size your budget to reflect those projects that you anticipate doing this coming year. That's not to say you can't put money aside for new signs, but maybe not as much as you did this
Well, I
particular
think the
year.
greener.
So
city
if I could,
cost.
we did already kind of right size the budget for the 25-26 year. Went through that whole process. I think that there are things in that budget that probably haven't been spent yet. But they did kind of already right size that, Director Bookless. So I don't know. I mean, we need to review it again, and obviously the budget for the commission is due at the end of February, I believe. So it's a good time to do that. But as far as the signage goes, I think that that's been caught up in the change of liaisons. And because Sanan was working on that when he was co-liaison, and he no longer is, of course, or coming to the meetings. We need, we keep saying we don't want people from the commission reaching directly out to staff members. So I don't think it's accurate that there's not a desire to have those signs. I think that there's a lack of knowing how to get that communicated, or hearing back from Public Works on where things are. So if you could help kind of facilitate that and get an update on either what Public Works needs or where they are, I think that would be really useful. And then that
Sure.
would use some of the fiscal year 26 budget.
Sure, and I don't know if you heard me or not, but the way it was put to me by leadership was that we haven't been getting requests for yard signs.
For like
No, this isn't yard signs. This
Okay.
is not
This
yard
is-
signs.
Okay, which signs are these?
Sanan, at the last time he was here, he had an example of
Like
a
the
sign they
waterheads.
could make in-house that says entering Deer Creek watershed.
Gotcha.
Just, it was a blue sign and it had
Mm-hmm. Or
like
Shady
water-
Creek or some of the.
Or Shady Creek.
Yeah,
So people would just have heightened awareness about
Gotcha.
Well, I also did like a sign for Lockwood Park, and I think it's
Yes.
Larson Park.
Those I did have at Blackwood and Larson.
Yeah, those came out, those ended up coming not out of your budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Signs.
Well, I think we got some of those in the fiscal year 25 budget, maybe even.
Okay.
Correct.
Is that
That's-
right, Yvonne?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
They were
So
like.
So
$100
educational
each.
signs for the parks, and then the project that Sanan and Public Works were working on was what was described was kind of like metal road signs that would indicate kind of where the watersheds are.
Watershed.
Gotcha.
They did watershed.
They weren't big, you know, they were like,
Yeah, roadside,
Yeah.
or like a speed limit sign, right?
Yeah,
Or maybe they're more a little,
Tree City signs.
yeah, yeah.
Councilwoman, will you be at the work session tomorrow and council?
Yes.
Maybe you and I can grab Sinan before the meeting and just have a quick chat with him.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Thanks.
thank you.
So once again, you know, if these numbers reflect ongoing projects, sure, then I guess you're good to go, but the fact that much of this money appears unspent, there's a number of categories here, so.
See, I just.
Well, we'll have the Arbor Day. I think we have to have the food and the.
Yes.
That,
So if I can jump in, so this coming year will come out of that budget. And last year's would have been paid out of the previous fiscal year budget.
Gotcha.
So Yvonne,
Yes.
we talked about having little trees for people to take. Is that a purchased item or a donated item? from like
They
forest?
have donated in the past, but typically they will charge up to $2 per sapling. So that would come out of your budget.
So Arbor Day probably will be an expense, cause we'll have the plaques for
Yes,
the tree stewards. And
yes,
we'll have the gift for, I guess the plaques go to the tree of distinction and the gift goes to the tree stewards. But plus the tree stewards get on this plaque out here. So all that plaquing and gifts
yes,
will come out of the budget, and that will be Arbor Day. And that's
Refreshments.
have snacks and water bottles. Of course, I have tons of snacks and water bottles in my basement that I look forward to removing them from my basement. I tried to pawn them off on Karen Anderson for sustainability.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna support the circular economy by reusing it.
I tried to get Karen to, you know, I gave them all to her for the last Eco Ed and I wasn't able to attend, and darn if she didn't bring back all of them. So we do have expenses.
They just haven't come out yet.
Somehow it's just muddled.
It seems like it's gonna be, it's hard to sort of like identify those, I mean, so I assume all this stuff is done through the city's accounting. And, you know, any expenses, like if you write a check for something and get reimbursed for it, you would get a report on that. I mean, I would think that you could look at that, so that plan, it ought to be really, you know, some idea of what's gonna be spent in terms of, or at least approximately.
So Yvonne, are you the one that's coordinating purchasing snacks and whatnot?
Yvonne did the snack purchases for the Brentwood Park Eco Ed. Those are all the leftover ones I have in my basement.
So perhaps you can coordinate with me later
Sure.
this week, and we can make sure that Gregory's fully aware of what's coming and what's not.
okay.
Thanks.
So David, I think what would help me, and maybe others are interested in this as well, I need kind of a budget 101. Like, how do I even submit a bill? If I were to buy snacks, or if
Well,
I'm the one who gets the.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be going through us to make any kind of purchases. The only exception would be is if the commission sends you to a seminar or something of that nature, and you register online, then you can turn in your paid receipts. Otherwise, the purchases should be worked through the city.
Okay.
So should that happen?
So Laura, do you get the plaques for the trees? of
No, Yvonne
Yes.
has traditionally taken care of all of that.
And the gifts for the tree stewards, is that you too, Yvonne?
Yes,
Thank you.
historically, that's what I've done.
Yes.
So if that's what you need me to do, I'm happy to do that.
We're happy you're doing it, Yvonne.
I'm
Okay,
happy you're going.
So,
I just put in the chat what we had talked about for the budget for the current year. I know that there's a screenshot in the email went out with the agenda of kind of the accounting talk of the different categories, but sometimes those categories don't always line up with how we think of it. So I wanted to put that in there. If you can't see it, I'm happy to read through it.
No, it looks good.
We can see it.
Okay.
Yay, that's great, cause yeah, it gives us more detail. Yeah, the signage where it says that, right?
So if we find out this week from Sanan whether the signage is gonna come out of Public Works budget or our budget or somewhere else, we'll be able to have more clear answers on what kind of money we're talking about.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Because
I
this
would
budget
thought-
would go through June. So we do have time to spend it, and the budget you're planning would be for July of 26 through yeah, through the next June. So, and I think that the educational outreach, if I remember correctly, I think those were the videos, Corin, that the students were going to do that didn't happen. So the
Yeah.
other thing is that you can rebudget. So if you wanted to get an extra sign or more trees for Arbor Day or like that's fine to rebudget within these. This is just kind of how it was sketched out.
okay. Well, that gives us options for educational outreach. Did you guys get a chance to look at the video I sent you
I think so,
of the,
because we talked about it back in.
Oh, on Instagram, that one?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna take a picture of her details.
Yeah, I was thinking
Thank you,
about
Emily.
So there was recently a video made by Webster Groves and it's on Instagram,
that. Oh, that one, yeah.
about the solar panel rebate.
Oh, yes.
And,
It featured some well-known people's houses.
Oh.
Matt, it was my house and Matt lives across the street, who's on sustainability committee.
Oh.
neat. So, that was such a fabulous video that it has me thinking that similar style videos would be great for marketing Green Our City, No Mow April, Leave the Leaves.
So you want to consider budgeting for that?
Well, that educational
Yeah.
budget. Cause I was home at the beginning when they were doing it. And it was my impression that the drone people were professional. They had like matching shirts and they had a sign on their car. So I don't think that was in-house. I think there was expense associated with that.
Well, for the solar, it was actually our PD, police department. It was their drone. Although Jordan is a licensed drone pilot, but this was the police drones, they are the operators. And commercial drone pilots, one of the rules is you have to have two people, a spotter and a pilot at all times, so that's why they're equivalent. And legally, they have to wear a vest. The things you learn when you do this.
Well, they were, when I was leaving my house, they were already doing their stuff, so I didn't exactly speak to them.
Yeah.
I waved him. But,
But it turned out very nice.
yeah, I'm like, look at the side of my house. We had the solar panels. So I think that would be a good avenue to explore. And just to let you know, we've shared this before, but due to Jim's efforts, we have a video of No Mow April, of still photos that Rory and myself took last April. And I turned that over to David to turn over to Jordan to see if he wants to finesse it or if that could be a promotional video. So just to keep you apprised.
So they ask, relative to this document, the budget request, perhaps it's, perhaps you mirror this again, but what you do need to do is spell out all those things that the councilwoman had in her list as it applies to next year.
David, this is Rory, and I am surprised that there's not a little bit more in here because I've gone to some of the events that happened and they had things that had to be purchased. So I guess they've just not made it in here. But we're 6 months, I guess, into this budget. I would feel comfortable if, as a group, at some point we forecast, the rest of the year. I know there are some big ticket items, and I know that I'm on a committee that's going to talk about marketing, if you will, for upcoming eco-ed. So I would hope that we have some money in that budget for printing, and I don't know, I see a little bit for advertising. I don't know if that was spoken for in some way, but it looks like historically, we've had expenses that may not get in, and that we've just, the timing of it. But I'll bet we've underspent in the last, I don't know, I shouldn't speak for past years, but since I wasn't here for most of them, but I'd be happy, Jeannie, to work with you sort of thinking through these expenses. And as Emily said, this was right-sized from a much larger ask. So, we just need to get into a groove and work with the city to make sure that we're getting closer to our budget, because I know the plans that I've heard should be spending some of this money.
So you all believe that there were expenses already, like,
I think they just
Spend
went
it.
elsewhere. They were.
if perhaps you can send me those items and I can try to track them down. Other than the signs through Public Works, if there are other things that you believe were expended that are not reflected here.
Well, Yvonne?
Well, we paid as much as we could out of last year's budget, and I'm wondering if we're thinking about that Lockwood Park sign. And
Yes.
so those
Parks-
were paid out of,
Parkside.
yes, those were paid out of last year's budget.
Yeah, they were.
So
So what
We-
about the Arbor Day expenses?
that would have been paid out of last year's budget as well.
Cause it ended June 30th.
Oh, okay, so it's,
So this Arbor Day is.
Yeah.
The current, hasn't happened.
Yes, so we need to dog ear some money for this year's Arbor Day.
I think we have it in our budget, so it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I think we're very comfortable.
We can order those $2 saplings.
I agree.
Okay, and it would help me if, I think if Laura's still doing the tree steward, if you could send, once you vote on that, if you could send me who the winner is so I can get the plaque ordered as soon as possible. And then,
I think we
know-
voted, didn't we? all
Not on
vote this
the,
time?
well, the tree steward, but you mean the tree of distinction, Yvonne, too?
yes, I'm sorry, tree of distinction.
Okay,
And then also, what kind of gift do you want to give to Carrie and Joe? Because last year we gave the recipient books in the past, so
They got some sort of round metal.
okay, so,
Thing.
Like a plaque.
oh, that's right, and so the
It's not plaque.
the
it was
tree
a
steward received a book. So if that's what you still want to do, or if you want everyone to have a plaque, just let me know.
okay.
Can I chime in for a moment? We have 22 minutes left. The budget is a really important topic, so I haven't wanted to interrupt until now, but we have a lot still to cover. Is it possible for some of this to be shifted out of the meeting, or do we want to have a longer meeting to account for it?
Thank you, Corin. Rory, did I understand you just said you would work with David on the budget?
Yeah, I'd work with you. I'm wondering if maybe an approach could be that, since we have subcommittees on these topics, for us to forecast through the committees what it is that we truly think we're going to spend and what are the, sort of the items and the costs that we foresee. So doing an internal forecast. Now that would be for this year's budget, but I believe what David is asking us for is the 27 budget, which
Correct.
from everything that I'm hearing is going to have at least some aspect of repeating the things that we're doing, if that's what we're going to do in 27. So I think we've just scratched on that. Maybe we could have the committees do a forecast for this year and a budget for next year. I don't, doing it by next month is going to be, it's going to come before you know it,
It will. So here's what I say, Roy, bless you, thank you. So if you work with David on the budget, David,
I think
I'll,
it's calling for a subcommittee to work on the budget.
Well, I'm calling for the committees that we have already to take responsibility for the budgets for what they're outlining the activities to be for that subcommittee. I can, yeah, I just think that's an approach to doing it. I'm sorry, I spent my whole career beating up people over budgets, so.
okay, so. All the various subcommittees, if you would, let me know what expenses or items you think your subcommittee will need in 2027. I will get that information to David. And Rory, maybe you and I and David could work on the budget.
Yeah, maybe you and I can compile something and then share with them for feedback. Is that, David?
Gotcha. And then I'll work on those other parts that I kind of have the handouts for, and I'll give it to you
Sounds good.
in the next several days.
That sounds very good.
I think.
I
we're
would
not
like
gonna
to, I'm sorry, if we're going to do something by next meeting, which I believe I heard was David's deadline.
Exactly.
Not my deadline, city council's deadline.
Okay.
Then
We
I
should
feel as if we need to have an internal deadline that's less than that. So I know that I'm on a couple of committees that have not met yet, but for example, the marketing, which I would hope that we'll have some expenses for doing a more robust marketing, some of the work that other subcommittees are doing and that we're doing as a commission. So I just want to make the point that I think the commissions need to meet on this sooner rather than later, so we have something to compile and review with David before we meet next. So can we set a deadline?
So if everyone could give me your information by late January, and I'll get it to David.
Just remember, I send out the agenda a week prior to the meeting, and I need a few days to get it all assembled, so.
How about if everyone gets me information by January 19th, that's 2 weeks from today.
That's perfect.
And then the agenda will go out the following Monday, the 26th, and we'll meet again February 2nd. So that information that you sent the 19th, Rory and I will get it organized and then get it to David. And I think I feel pretty confident about all the other questions.
Okay.
Other than budget.
So once you get that all assembled, we'll present it at the next meeting, and I'm sure there'll be minor modifications and it'll be good to go.
I think we can do this, yeah.
It sounds like a great plan. I don't want to stall the timekeeper anymore, but just a pin to say that with Green Our City starting back up, changing some, there will be costs associated with that, and I think it might be helpful, David and Yvonne, for the subcommittee to maybe be able to reach out to you both to figure out what would need to be in Green Spaces budget versus what's in the tree fund or not, not needing to be in the commission budget.
I request that you reach out to James, and then James will take it from there.
Okay, you'd like the subcommittee to reach out directly to James?
Yeah, they can email James directly.
Okay.
But CC me, please.
That subcommittee is Ginger, Teresa, and Laura.
Yep.
Would someone be willing to reach out to Teresa tomorrow maybe and kind of let her know what's happened tonight since she's not here? Yeah. Can you do that, Ginger? Sure. And
Tell her to watch the video.
so you've got that, Ginger and Laura, to reach out to James?
Mhm.
Like I said, and CC me, please.
Sure. Okay. So just to review, 2 weeks from today, the 19th, if you get me the information. And then Rory and I will combine it and get it to David within a day or two.
Yeah.
And then David will finesse it further, and then we'll discuss it on February 2nd.
Sounds like a plan.
I would encourage the subcommittee leaders, to get a meeting on the books as soon as possible.
So you think we need an in-person meeting or a virtual meeting?
just- For the subcommittees, because as I said, I'm on a couple that we haven't met at all yet, but I wouldn't want to wait much longer to have this discussion.
So Rory, are you asking for like an organized meeting?
I think what I'm doing is putting it out there just to share my thoughts on it, but also I guess I'm looking for feedback that the chairs of these subcommittees, I'm not assuming that they're going to call a meeting and then we're just, no one's meeting. Does that make sense?
So would it be helpful if I sent an email tomorrow? I send it to David and David can send it out and have this list of the various subcommittees and then go through the dates.
Yeah.
And then say subcommittees, please get your people together and talk about your budget.
I think it's enough to say it right now, that if you're the leader of a subcommittee, just make sure that you get your group together, soon
Like
to hit a 19th.
emailing back
Yep.
or
Jeannie, you go ahead and email me tomorrow your list, and I'll just send out the reminder to everybody.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Okay.
14 minutes for me.
Our next item is of new business is our potential field trip to see the city service center. And Yvonne, I brought that up a couple months ago and was kind of like, let's wait till the spring when it's lighter, later and warmer. What are your thoughts about our field trip?
Oh, we're available whenever you would like to schedule it.
Okay. So I'm thinking is 5 o'clock the earliest people could meet?
Well,
I think Ginger and Lauren or Laura.
I mean, I'm super flexible.
Well,
Most.
Yvonne, and I don't want to speak for you, but I bear in mind that employees work 8 to 5. So ideally, it would be a field trip during the daytime.
What's the date on this?
We don't have a date.
Because we can't pay overtime to employees for this.
And park staff works 6:30 until 3 o'clock. But
Okay.
some staff down at the service center does indeed work until 5. So I don't know if you want to see the place up and running or if you just want to see the facility. And my staff is usually out in the parks anyway, so.
I'd be happy seeing the facility. Yeah. Do other people feel strongly to see it in motion?
Good.
So just the facility, Yvonne.
Okay, so David, I will hand that off to you of what time you think is appropriate.
Well, maybe I can put together like a doodle poll, right? Have you all used that before? Sure. Doodle poll,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be good. Good. That way we can find out what dates people look like.
Yeah.
Works the best for everyone.
Okay, so that's taking a step forward. It'll be in the spring when it's lighter, longer and warmer. So now we're up to subcommittee updates, just like a 1-minute update. Anything new with precept distinction?
We are going to get together and I need to send her the nominees, and when we agree on 1 or 2 that we think are the best, I will reach out to
an arborist to volunteer their time to physically look at the tree, not necessarily take in-depth measurements of it as far as the health of the tree and approximate size and then come back to you all hopefully by the next meeting with a recommendation. Is my hope. It just depends on if we can get our volunteer arborist to view the tree.
Is the volunteer arborist part of Webster Groves?
No, they don't work for Webster Groves, but they live in Webster Groves.
Because we do have an arborist now, don't we?
We do.
Well, I didn't know if we could use their time for this, because we had one before, but they were Public Works, and so.
Awesome.
And also the new one is Parks, but we don't wanna take city time.
I will have to ask their director and I'll find out.
Okay.
And just while we're talking about the arborist, I know you all want to meet her. And I think what we can do in a future meeting is set it up that she can zoom in for 5 minutes and just say hello. Very nice person.
So maybe March after we're done with all the budgets.
Sure.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if this is acceptable because I'm on the commission and he is not, but my husband is a municipal arborist.
Oh, wow.
So-
I did not know that. Oh, wow.
St. Peter's.
Same thing.
Yeah, and he's a parks manager there, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Conflict of.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, is it a conflict or is it a convenience?
Well, I mean, basically, they're not saying this is the best of the nominees. They're looking at one or maybe two trees if it comes down to,
Okay.
we can't decide, and just telling us that it's healthy and just verifying or really telling us how tall they think it is.
A rubric for a tree of distinction.
Right, yeah, and that it's not invasive, that
Yeah.
type of thing. It's not like, I don't think there would be any like conflict of interest in my opinion.
It sounds pretty safe.
Yes. So,
Tree stewards, I will contact Gary and Joe and let them know that we would like them to receive this honor and tell them the date. And then the new member welcome. Ginger City.
the date yet for today?
Uh-huh. We have two, well, I'll just jump to the EcoEd update. We have two of our three planned. And I'll pass this around, you can take a picture of it. Wednesday, April 15th will be Arbor Day at Larson Park at 5:30. We've arranged with Billy Haig from Forest Relief to speak. He was our speaker last year, but he got rained out. And the topic I gave him this year is what homeowners can do, should do to promote good health of the trees in their yards. Last year he was gonna talk about care of young trees, but I think we can broaden that from just young to all trees. And the other one that we have organized, or we organized this one, is Wednesday, May 20th, 7 o'clock at Blackburn Park Pavilion and the Bird Sanctuary area with Vincent Hewing, who has single-handedly recruited and organized volunteers for that area. And just to let you know, the third one I'm working on is to get various clubs in Webster all together to each talk for 10 or 15 minutes. So we have the garden club, we have the herb society, we have the nature studies society, and we have a seed pod from Wild Ones. So if you have another club you know of, those were the four I thought of. And I emailed them, and one group, the Herb Society, responded very promptly, very enthusiastically. And so I offered them the 3 open dates. And I said we would just go with the date. Cause hopefully I'll hear back from them soon, cause Karen from Sustainability said they will not be discussing again until their meeting January 9th. So the open dates as they're currently open should remain open till this one gets, oh, yes, that.
Can I ask you, ask the garden club? There's two, I wonder, there's the women's garden club and
Yes.
then there's the garden club. And so I just wouldn't wanna leave either one of them out.
So
Two garden clubs?
Yes.
Oh,
and it's
Yeah,
just
Webster
called
Groves,
Webster Groves Garden Club.
as I understand it, yes. Cause they have a plant sale and so does the women's, I've been to both, they're both wonderful.
Okay.
The Garden Club is a real institution in Webster too. It's been
Yes,
Century,
It
I
has
think.
3 different
Yes.
subsets that meet at different times and so thank you. That
That's the
I'll
plan.
add them to that.
okay, thanks.
So Ginger shared that the welcome subcommittee hasn't met yet, but they're going to meet. And then the marketing, Teresa is the lead. She emailed, they haven't, that subcommittee, Teresa, Ori, Ginger, Jim has not met yet. So that's all the subcommittees.
Plan to do so though.
Yeah, we'll get it going. It's been the holidays. So next is, one more question about EcoEd. David, are you the one that, gets Arbor Day on the mayor's calendar?
Good question.
Yes.
Was that
That's Emily.
Emily?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually you would work with with the mayor to get that scheduled.
Okay.
The staff liaison usually helps with that.
Well, I'll make sure it's
We
on.
wanna get that on her calendar, so she'll be there and she does a talk and proclamation.
Okay, we can do that.
So now we're up to you, Emily, city council liaison.
I'm trying to think. We just had a survey close on the Memorial Park, on the Performance Park and the skate park. So hopefully people were able to do that. That did close yesterday. Continuing to get community input on those projects as part of the bond issue, the Destination WG. So that's exciting work that keeps going on. Trying to think of what else is key right now. I mean, I know the subcommittee is gonna kind of work through this first, but we did have an update from the city on plans for Green Our City. I sent that to the subcommittee and to the chair and co-chair to kind of work through. It kind of in a nutshell, the idea and David and Yvonne, please jump in to clarify things. The idea is that we would do this maybe spread out a little bit over the year so it isn't just one big day. So they're thinking kind of 2 main seasons and doing the plantings during work hours rather than on the weekend to, just as we were talking about, in scheduling the time to go to the service center, making sure that we have the staff available to do that work. I know that is a shift to having one big, like all hands on deck Saturday morning. The arborist is really excited about this project, and this would be part of kind of her daily work, as I understand it. And again, please correct me, Yvonne, if that is not correct. So I think that's really exciting. I think, and green space, this commission still has a big important role in educating the tree steward or is that what we call them? Tree stewards. And, educational materials and working with marketing on with Jordan on getting kind of some short form videos and social media and things out, building out. I know Jeannie, you wanted a kind of the website to kind of mirror Leave the Leaves and NOMO April. So all that kind of work could be done as well. I think that kind of the one thing is that they in talking with Scott Davis and others, it sounds like we do want to try to do an early planting in 2026 to kind of get the ball rolling. Staff has been planting also, so there have been trees planted in 2025 by, I'm assuming, Yvonne, by the arborist in your team.
Yes, with the park staff, we planted 39 trees in the right of way.
So that's awesome, which I think is really, in my eyes, and others could have additional opinions, but in my eyes, the main goal of Green Our City is to green our city, to get more trees planted in the right of way, and also to educate people on how to take care of trees and have kind of that buy-in. So I think that this still does that, even though it does look different than what we've done in previous years. So, I think it's exciting that it's starting back up and like everything will, what's that? Oh, I'm gonna date myself with a Better Off Dead quote. But we're gonna go this way, and if something gets in our way, we're gonna turn. Like, we can adjust things as we go. But I think we have a really good starting place, and I'm really excited that the arborist is so on board with this and is as energized for this. I think that's really, really great. Other than that, we already talked about commission openings, and just kind of if you can spread the word to see if you have people in your circles that might be interested in those. And I think that's it for me, unless anybody has any questions for me.
I have a question, but it's for Yvonne. Yvonne, those 39 right-of-way trees that the park department planted, were they in homeowners' front yards or the public?
A portion of them were in homeowners' yards, and so when they either requested them when we removed a tree or they were on a previous list. So we met all of the requests that were sort of in the works when Sinan was in charge of it. So what I would be looking for going forward would be to have GSAC's support and promoting the program and getting the word out, and then also to get the application updated and online. So we do have people who legitimately would like to have trees. And we're getting them out there in the public's yards for the people who want them.
And I'll just add that, I was talking to James about the online application, and he said that they're gonna update the application so people can indicate if they have preferred tree species. And then the arborist and Yvonne would work to see if it was appropriate and whatnot, and kind of, work through that with the resident. And then the other thing, with the kind of change in schedule that if during business hours that most of these plantings will be done, the thinking is maybe one of the planting days would coincide with Make a Difference Day. That way other volunteers could be involved as well.
Yeah, so there was, I
That's
feel
a
like it'd be
Saturday.
really hard to get.
Yeah.
Like volunteers from our.
Oh, yeah, it'd be impossible.
And that's why the thinking was Make a Difference Day, which Yvonne has worked very
That's a
hard.
Saturday.
When is that?
Right, that would be the one non-business hour day.
Oh, because they're already working on making.
Yes.
How's this called?
And just as a suggestion of another way that Green Space can support the program is to maybe think about doing some kind of short video that is on the website along with the application that homeowners can click on if they have any questions about caring for their tree. So
Right.
that I think would be really helpful.
So when in 2024, when my house received a tree in the right of way, we were invited to a thing at Larson Park.
An education.
An educational, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't know that they're gonna do that component, right? In this one.
So how do we as Green Space support these homeowners in learning their tree care?
Well, I think that's what Yvonne was talking, maybe put together a video or other marketing materials that might be.
Yes, and so the trees that we planted this past year, we discussed it with the homeowner. They received the magnet and watering instructions in a bucket. So we're following the same guidelines that we used before.
And frankly, if you did a video, it would be helpful to people beyond the program that are planting their own trees as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You could still have a gathering. You could have a kickoff either at a park or at the rec center or, someplace and bring people together. I think, one of the challenges is it's spread over into at least two plantings. So you have 2 points in time. Do you do two? Do you just do one and record it? And previously it was required. And so if you were out of the country, like that could kind of put a kink in things. So I think having an option that like a video that's kind of evergreen that's always available is helpful to have, but it doesn't mean you can't have a tree steward kickoff or something like that as well. Certainly could do both.
Yeah, and I think when Green Space started the endeavor, the goal was to get trees back in the right of ways because we had lost so many over the years.
Yeah.
And eventually the goal was to hand this off to Public Works. So, and then Green Space could, move on to other endeavors because typically Green Space in the past has had an awful lot of activities on their plate. And I don't think for a minute that you guys can't come up with more things, that you want to make happen in the city. So I feel confident that this program is now under me for the city, and we've already planted 39 trees in the fall, and I was given that directive in September. So
That's awesome, Yvonne.
I love planting trees, and that would be my goal to answer every request, and if homeowners can have a tree, then they will have one planted in their yard.
Well, that's the end of my liaison.
And then also, we are having a tree inventory, and part of the tree inventory, the company is supposed to select some areas that they recommend where we can plant trees. So if they're in homeowners' front yards, we can approach the homeowner and ask them to be part of the program. So,
And Jeannie, I think you'd had a question. Oh, sorry, Yvonne, I just cut you off.
oh, that's okay. So we're trying to approach it from several different angles to get trees back in the right of way.
Thank you.
Jeannie, what I was going to say is I know that you had questions about homeowner involvement in like the choice of tree, like which type of tree is going in their own yard. And I think, Yvonne, that you and the arborist do talk to the homeowners.
Yes. Yes,
about
we
that.
had some very specific requests for the trees that we just planted, and we were able to meet those. So not everyone can have the exact tree depending on if there's overhead wires or utilities involved, but we will most certainly try to get them the type of tree that makes sense in their yard and something that they're going to want to have.
And as I said, the application will reflect that.
I'm just fighting my tongue to not answer this question because of the time, but are they native trees?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, we're a little after 6, I've been informed, so David, anything else?
No.
Okay, I don't think we need to plan for our agenda next month, I think it's very clear what we need to cover. So, I recommend to adjourn.
Need a motion. Need a motion in a second.
I motion to end
I move,
our meeting.
Are you second?
I move
Okay, 6:08 PM.
6:08.
Okay.
Thanks for zooming in, guys.
Yeah.